Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of lesson 5.5 on solving rational equations. This is the guided video notes, and we left off after solving our first example, and we're going to look at two more examples here, and we have this idea that we're going to introduce what's called extraneous solutions. Okay, extraneous solutions are essentially solutions. I'm just going to break this down. They're solutions to our equation. Whoops, I should have left a bigger space. The solutions to our equation that don't work. And it's like, wait, what does that mean? So meaning, let's say we do all our algebra correct and we get this answer, we know we're correct, and we plug it back in and check, and it doesn't work. It doesn't give us a correct answer. Those are what are called extraneous. So they're solutions that we find that don't actually work. So let's solve each equation here. And so I've got we've got an equation here. It's set up like a proportion, and the LCD, notice how the denominators are the same. So the LCD is going to be x minus 3. Okay, so if I rewrite this, I'm going to have 3x over x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply this by the LCD, excuse me. So that's x minus 3 in red there, equals my second fraction, 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 3 times the LCM, which is x minus 3. Okay, so we're going to get rid of these fractions, and so that's why we multiply by the LCD. So the x minus 3's go to 1 here, and so we're left with 3x equals 2x plus 3. Okay, and if we subtract 2x from both sides, okay, we're going to get our solution. We're going to find that. So we have 2x and minus 2x, right, because we want to solve for x here. We get x equals 3. Now, if you look back at the original here, notice the denominator is x minus 3, and if I plug in 3, I'm going to get something with 0 in the denominator. So if I check, let's just check this to see if we're right. So all my math is good. Okay, so now I have 3 times, I'm going to plug in 3 for x because that's what my solution was. So 3 over 3 minus 3, does that equal 2 times 3 plus 3 over 3 minus 3? And I get 9 over 0 equals 9 over 0. And you're like, yeah, they equal, that's my solution. But you can't have that. You can't divide by 0. Okay, so we can't, whoops, hit the button there. We can't divide by 0. Oh, this is funky. What is going on? Divide by 0. So in this case, there is no solution. There's no solution. I only had 1 there, and it didn't work. Okay, so let's look at our next example. So it's our final example, and it's also going to be, it's going to have something that's extraneous. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, one of our solutions, see how we have x minus 7 there? One of our solutions is going to be 7, and that's the one that's not going to work. So the LCM here, the LCD, remember, it's all the factors. The LCD here, look, we have x minus 7 and we have a 2. So our LCD is 2 times x minus 7. That's the LCD. Okay, so we have 2x, and I'm hoping I can fit this. There's a lot here, so we're going to multiply that by, whoops, we can just do 2 out front here. 2 times x minus 7. Okay, plus x over 2 times 2 times x minus 7. Okay, I might run out of room here. Okay, so let me clean this part up. Well, we'll do the, so it's going to be the 5 times, so 5 times x minus 7 times 2x minus 7. And I'm sorry, I'm like this, I write big. That's it. Okay, so we made it. Good. Now we got to simplify this. So we got everything written. Multiplied all our terms by LCD. So x minus 7 cancels out with this x minus 7. 2 and this 2 go to 1, x minus 7, x minus 7. So we're left with 2x minus 9 times 2. Okay, I guess this whole thing should be in parentheses, plus x times x minus 7 equals, oops, so that should be an equals there, sorry everybody, equals 5 times 2. Okay, so we get 4x minus 18, that's the distributive property. Okay, distribute the 2 plus distribute the x through, x squared minus 7x equals 10. Okay, so now we combine like terms, and I just have one x squared term here. Well, what's going on here? Having some trouble today. So x squared. Okay, we have 4x minus 7x, so that's minus 3x's. Okay, minus 18 equals 10. And now what we're going to do is bring the 10 over. We're going to subtract 10 from both sides, so you get x squared minus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So you factor two numbers that multiply to be negative 28 and add to be negative 3 are x minus 7, x plus 4 equals 0. So what makes each of these 0 by the zero product property? You have x equals 7, right? Because if you plug 7 in here, you get 0. And you have x equals negative 4. However, if we look back at the original, the denominator has x minus 7, and if I plug 7 in there, 7's not going to work. That's the extraneous solution. This one does not work. X equals negative 4 is the only solution there. So if you guys have any questions or comments on that, let me know, and we'll see you next time.